Now, it is easy to say that when you want to be profitable, make a conscious detachment from focusing on profits. Profits, which is your outcome of individual trades, to focusing on your process. All right. Now, it is easy to say this and it is easy to hear this and understand intellectually, but in real life, how can you indeed separate from wanting profit to just being process based? There are some things you can put in place to help you attain this, to help you become process driven and disconnect from trading profits. Because when you are focusing on trading profits, individual outcomes, it is the quickest way for profits to run away from you consistently. This being said, to trade profitably, you need a healthy nonchalancy towards 1, trading profits, and 2, trading outcomes, individual outcomes. So you need a healthy nonchalancy towards number 1, trading profits, number 2, trading outcomes, which I highlighted individual trading outcomes actually. It is easy to say this and it's easy for you to hear, but how can you apply this practically? How can this make sense to your subconscious mind? All right. Now, the solution to this is in the book of Ecclesiastes chapter 11 verse 2. Right? Let's go there real quick. Ecclesiastes 11 verse 2. Let me know in the comment section if this is correct. It's been quite long. Let's go. So Ecclesiastes 11 verse 2 says, invest in multiple different ventures, right? Invest in multiple different trades, for you do not know what evil that is going to come upon the world. This is an advice from the greatest, wisest, and richest man in the history of the Bible, in the history of the world, actually, right? King Solomon. So King Solomon is giving us a business, King Solomon is giving us an investment advice. What is this investment advice? This investment advice is that we should diversify, all right? We should strive towards obtaining multiple. We should strive towards this multiple. So in today's language, this is basically what this Bible verse is telling you. Invest in multiple streams of income. Why? Because you don't know the evil that will come upon the world. Now, how can this help us in attaining a healthy nonchalancy in our trading? When I was seeking the wisdom of God on how to trade profitably, this is one of the things he let me know. Because before I was just focusing on trading, and he told me that to start looking at different options. It's not just trading. Work on building other streams of income too. That way you are not obsessively invested in trading profits. This helped me. I didn't know that it was going to help me this much, but at that point I was seeking for wisdom, and whatever the Lord told me was what I was going to implement. So I started implementing this. I started working on building other streams of income, and this right here helped me detach. I post my videos sometimes and some people ask me, how are you patient enough to wait for your TP to get hit? Why? Because my whole life is not invested in that trade. If I lose that trade, that does not mean that I'm not going to eat tomorrow, or I'm not going to pay my bills, I'm not going to do this or do that. No, I am balanced. Or you could say that I have nothing to gain, nothing to lose, nothing to prove. All right, so to better drive this point home, let's give an analogy. This is trader A, and we have trader B. Trader A is broke. He struggles. He's broke. He's struggling. He's struggling to make ends meet, and he's just broke. No investments, no multiple streams of income. He's looking at trading to be his poverty alleviating, program, whatever it is. And then there's trader B. Trader B is a lot more established. Trader B has multiple investments. He even has a job, and he's investing in other things to stabilize his income. Okay, let's say trader B has a job, a good paying job, right? And he has investments. Investment 1, investment 2, investment 3, investment 4, Let's say trader B has 3 streams of income, and then there is trading. Now, at the end of the month, he gets a pay from his jobs. Let's say he gets paid $5,000. His first investment brings in $10,000 a month. Second brings in $20,000 a month. And here there's trading. Say he has $100,000 account. Out of the abundance of his capital, he's trading with $1,000 account. And then trader A right here, maybe somewhere or the other he got $100,000 prop firm trading account. So trader A has a prop account, say it is funded at this stage, and trader B has $100,000 personal account. Now this guy, inside $100,000, the rent expectation is here, his bills, his life bills, feeding, groceries, feeding, and so on, is all tied to this $100,000. All right. So at the end of the day, you'll see that there's pressure on this $100,000. There will be a certain type of pressure for him to perform. So if you're telling this trader A that he needs to be process based instead of profit based, he doesn't understand what you are talking about, because he needs to pay rent, he needs to pay bills, he needs to feed himself, he needs to maybe pay school fees and things like that. He needs to take care of his children if he has children, and you're telling him not to focus on profit. How is he not going to focus on profit? He needs the money, he needs it. All right. So what this is going to do is that this is going to mount a lot of pressure on this $100,000, and it's going to, guess what it's going to do? It's going to cause this trader to trade emotionally, to over leverage, to chase profit, to do all those negative things. Why? Because he's not diversified. Every pressure is on this stuff. All right. Now we come to trader B. Do you think it's going to hard for this guy to actually detach from the outcome of whatever happens in a month from this account? Yes, it is going to be easy for him to detach. Why? Because he has other streams of incomes. If he has a bad month or a slow month in the trading space, that does not mean that he's not going to pay his rent. That does not mean that he's not going to pay his children's school fees. That does not mean that he's not going to pay bills, light bills, water bills, and things like that. That does not mean that he's not going to be homeless. Why is that? Because he has other streams of income. He has other things bringing in money. So when he has a bad month or a losing month in trading, he's not phased, because he's still going to pay his bills. He's still good. He's still okay. So this trader is at the right emotional state to actually trade and to trade profitably. Now, because he's disconnected, he can now make profits. This might seem counterintuitive, but the more you pursue profits in trading, the more it runs away from you. You signify interest. What is the interest that you signify? By focusing on your process and allowing the profits to take care of itself. All right. So this trader B has the ability to detach from individual outcome of trade because he's diversified, because his attention is in different other areas of life. Think about it. The most successful traders you see, maybe online, offline, they don't just trade. Most of them have businesses, investments, and other things that make up for, because in trading, like it or don't like it, not every month is going to be a winning month. Not every month is going to be a profitable month. So what happens in those slow months or in those negative months? If all your focus is on your trading account, it is going to, if you are saying detach from the outcome, you will not be understanding us, because everything is dependent on the outcome. Everything is dependent on the profit you bring out from the marketplace, which is a very unhealthy place you could be in. So these are the things that, the Lord started teaching me. I can venture into all the things and all that. Now, Apostle Paul in the book of Philippians, let's clean this up. Now when you get to the book of Philippians 3:13, Apostle Paul talked about relentless focus on one thing, on just one thing. Just be focused on one thing, lock in until you get it. Now you have an advice from Apostle Paul, and you have an advice from you have an advice from Apostle Paul, and you have a business advice from King Solomon. This one talks about relentless focus on one thing, locking in on one thing until you actually get it. And King Solomon talks about diversification. Now the question is, which of the advices should you go with? The answer is both. All right, you need both. All right, You need both. But this is how you're going to do it though. You don't start off like King Solomon. All right. You start off focusing on one thing. You start from Apostle Paul and grow into King Solomon. Most millionaires and billionaires, they didn't start off by juggling 10 different businesses at once. What they did is they mastered one thing first. All right. So this is the way you should go. Master one thing first. Start like Apostle Paul, mastering one thing first. For example, the likes of Jeff Bezos, he built Amazon first, right? Bill Gates built Microsoft. Jeff Bezos built Amazon first. Bill Gates built Microsoft. Mark Zuckerberg built Facebook. All right. This was his initial venture. And Elon Musk, he started with focusing on PayPal. Before they graduated into SpaceX, Tesla, and all the other rest of his businesses. Now, you see, in these instances, their first businesses served as the foundation. All right. There should be, before you can erect a building, there must be a foundation. You cannot skip that process. All right. There must be a foundation, and it goes beneath the ground. Now, when the foundation is strong, you can now start building, putting other things on top. It's also served more like the root of a tree. All right. This is the ground. This is the root. When you plant a seed, it first of all gets roots, goes inside, gets roots before it can start growing into a tree. Now, this tree, at the end of the day, you end up having branches. In this case, is now your new investment. Elon Musk started with PayPal, grew, and then there are branches like SpaceX, Tesla, and other businesses that he is involved in. Now, this is just an example of what we are talking about. It's not that he is a role model or anything like that. This is what I personally advise you to do. You start up with one thing. There must be a starting point. So you must master one thing first. A musician can branch into producing. A trader can venture into writing books, creating content. If you don't know, YouTube pay people for uploading content. And many other things. The options are just, there are so much. And then a 9-to-5er can advance into maybe investment, learn about investment. Before you know it, you start investing, have first investment, second investment, and third investment. At some point, you might not need your 9-to-5 anymore. You can just advance into a lot of different things. But you must, in the initial, start up with mastering one thing. Because have you heard of the phrase that jack of all trades is a master of none? So you must start up mastering at least one. Think about it. Michael Jordan was a basketballer and he expanded into building a worldwide apparel brand. Opportunities are massive, but only when you have mastered one thing first. So you don't start with King Solomon's strategy. You start like Apostle Paul and then graduate. You grow into King Solomon. This is applicable not just for traders, but for wherever you find yourself, whatever industry you find yourself. Having only one stream of income is very bad. It is not advisable. But this is how you go about building multiple streams of income the right way. So when you have built multiple streams of income, there's no pressure on performance on trading. You can now easily detach from profits or from outcomes, resulting to better trading habits and better trading results. Alright, this is it for today. If you gain value from this lesson, consider liking the video so that this video could be pushed to many more traders and so that they can gain value. All right, and also consider subscribing to the channel. See you on the next one. Stay blessed. Bye for now.